Hello again, Steve here, and today I want to talk a little bit about a topic I'm going to call passion to profit. Now, I have to say I've stolen this title from a guy named, what was his name? Joel Bauer. Joel Bauer is a guy, he's a speaking trainer, leadership trainer, and so on, trained among other notorious people like Bill Clinton, I believe, and a bunch of other notable public speakers. And you can find him on YouTube. He's got one really funny video, which is not along the lines of passion to profit, but it's called "Your Business Card is Crap," and it's really funny. And he's got about 1 million views, over 1 million views. And so, credit where credit is due. Thanks for that, Joel. But I wanted to use this title because of something that happened to me recently, which is very interesting, and it might be helpful for those of you out there who are thinking about maybe transitioning your hobby or your passion into a livelihood. Okay, so we all have things that we love, and that's what a passion is, right? Or a hobby. We do it. We don't care if we're not making money off of it or making a livelihood off it. We will do it while we are paying to do it. How many people like sports and so on? They drive from here over to there, pay huge money for tickets, concerts, and so on, because they love it. Nothing wrong with that. And somebody's making a livelihood off of that. That's how the world goes round, right? And there's a difference between just liking something and being good at it, right? You've probably heard about the 10,000 hour rule, which is that if you got 10,000 hours into something, you're probably at that stage getting kind of good at it. So if you love something, you're pretty good at it, and you get to the stage where people are asking you, say, hey, can you come on out and give me a hand with this? Imagine you play guitar or something like that, and every once in a while some people come out and say, hey, can you come out to this birthday party and play for us or whatever? And you're always getting people to ask you to do stuff. What they're saying is you're good at it. Now you love it. To be good at it, you've put a lot of hours into it, and you're doing it anyways. People are asking you. It might be a good idea if you not so much need it, but to transition, because maybe you'd like doing that more, at least part of the time, than what you're currently doing. And we all need a livelihood, right? Unless we're on the dole, which is not who I'm talking to here for sure. Now, here's a little funny story actually about somebody who I was listening to a podcast about one time, and he's in Toastmasters as I am, so I can kind of relate. He had been in Toastmasters for years, had many hours into it. I don't know, maybe 10,000 hours. He was really, really good. He was competing at a very, very high level contest. And somebody was in the crowd, big crowd. He did a good job. He came up to him afterwards and said, Darren, his name is Darren LaCroix, if I didn't mention. Darren, that was a fantastic speech. We'd love to have you at our next, I don't know, annual general meeting keynote speech. How much would you charge to come out and give a speech? And Darren looked at this person, and at first he thought he heard her say, how much would you pay? Because as Toastmasters, we're like sports fans. We go and pay to speak. Just like when you're playing hockey, you pay for the ice time, right? So once he got it straight that she actually was offering to pay him, the gears started going. He said, He thought he'd just throw something wild out there because, hey, what has he got to lose? He's paying it, he's not making anything any money. So he said, how about $75? And he was chuckling at himself later because he did the speech, enjoyed it and so on, but he later found out the previous guy the year before charged $1,500 for the same thing. So something interesting to think about. But bringing it back to how this might work for you and what's happened to me, is beginning to happen to me anyway, is, well, I've been doing this Inner Genie project, so I've been interested in breaking into more of an active role, more time into actually working with people and having fun with this, bringing it outside of Toastmasters, though I've enjoyed Toastmasters a lot. There was somebody who apparently met me back last spring, and I then went out of town on a project management job, and I was gone for months and months at a time. But somebody emailed me from my club saying, hey, Steve, somebody was at our meeting in the spring when you were there, saw you speak or whatever, and was interested in what you're doing. And he was wondering if you could come out and do a workshop at their boardroom for their executives because they need help with public speaking. And I shot an email back saying, well, you know what, I really can't do that. I mean, I'm gone for months. I'm not sure when I'm going to be back. And besides, how about you just ask him to join the club, bring his executives over there. They can learn all they want to learn there. And this person got back to me and says, no. Like, he was really quite adamant about it. He wants you out there, and because he liked your approach to things. And he wants you to come out to the event, or to the boardroom. Well, I got back to him and I said, well, yeah, I'll probably be back in the winter or something like that. Feel free to pass along my contact information. I don't mind. It can't hurt, right? But I didn't put anything into it. Flash forward a few months later, I was about finishing up that job before Christmas, and I got an email from the events planner for this company. And this person was asking me, hey, I got your contact information from blah, blah, blah. I won't mention names here. Can you come out? This guy would highly recommend you. Can you come out and give a presentation? We really need somebody who knows about public speaking. So I said, okay, well, maybe we can schedule something for the new year. Anyways, it did get scheduled. It got scheduled till today, actually. And when I talked to her, I never really talked about payment or anything, but she eventually asked me, well, how much do you charge? And once again, I felt like Darren LaCroix, and I said to her, well, I don't, but she said, well, so I thought of something to ask. I asked her, what are you guys actually doing? Well, what they do is every Monday morning, they have a training session for their executives, for their sales executives, every Monday morning for an hour. And they get various different professionals to come out. They might have a tax attorney come out. They might have an accountant come out, or whatever, like various different people, professionals in their field. So I asked her, I said, well, what do they charge? And she says, well, anywhere from $200 to $500 an hour. And I was on the phone kind of, I was trying to control my voice there. And, I didn't at all say that that's what I'm worth. I didn't agree with it. I just stayed rather neutral. And I basically told her, how about this? I said, here's what I said. How about this? When you go to a restaurant, do you pay when you're walking in, or do you pay when you're walking out? And if you like it, you give a little extra or whatever. Well, you pay when you're going out, right? And if the meal is complete crap, you can return it, sort of thing, right? So I said, how about you approach it that way? Because I'm an unknown, and I can come in, I'll give it my best shot, and so on. Anyways, long story short, it was great. It was really great. It was enjoyable. The people there enjoyed it. And I gave like the most dumbed down, in my opinion, the most dumbed down 1 hour presentation on basic public speaking. How to basically stand up, collect your thoughts, jot a few things down, and say something. That's all I did. And everybody had a few chances to do it. And at the end, I had passed with this little note for feedback. And it was all just, I don't know if they just candy coated it, but people were saying things like, I never knew anything about public speaking. I never done any public speaking training, and so on. And these are people who are in the field every day communicating with their clients. Then after the event, she brought in the regional manager. And the regional manager says, we need what you have. Our senior executives don't have a clue. He didn't say they don't have a clue, but they need help with public speaking. And eventually in the conversations later, yeah, we need help in Edmonton. We need help in Calgary. We need help in Regina, and so on. We could really use your help. And I'm just thinking, wow, that's really amazing. So I guess in the end, and she did pay me well actually for it. Yeah, it was great for 1 hour. I guess what I'm trying to say is, we can look at what we're doing. And I did that too. When I went in there, I'm thinking, am I just dumbing this too down? Like the things that I'm saying, surely everybody knows. But this is the case with us. So often we look at the world through our own eyes, but people are looking at the world through their eyes. And we might have something that's very, very valuable to other people. especially if we really love it, because that comes across, right? And we've put the time in to become, yeah, I don't call myself an expert in public speaking at all, but apparently I'm better than some people. But if we put the hours in and people start to recognize it, and especially if they begin to ask us, hey, can you help us out here? Well, it might be time to consider that. Especially if you're entrepreneurial minded and you're always looking for opportunities that could add to what you're doing. See, that's the good thing about an entrepreneurialism is you diversify your portfolio of employment, right? If you just have a single job, it's like you have just one fork in the fire, right? You have one customer. And if you lose that customer, you have what they would call in the manosphere one-itis, right? You have just one, and you're at a little bit of a risk there, right? Your best job security is to diversify your customers. And what I'm saying here is I've just diversified my customers today to some extent. People who are willing to contribute and trade. I like to use the term trade for the services that I could provide. So if you like this idea, please like, subscribe, and share. Please comment in the box below. And we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.